And we're back live, boys and girls, back here in the Cave Studios. Thank you to the Cave family for allowing us to do this today. This is the kickoff, the main event that introduces Unring the Bell to the world, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim. My partner, Steve, is right here by my side.
Hello, everyone.
And together, we want to be part of the solution. We want to change the world. We want to create hope in the hopeless. We want to unring the bell.
That is it. So we're well on our way. First day.
We're getting there.
More than halfway there. We had a amazing interview earlier. Thank you to Aaron and Kelsey again. Wonderful live event at the White Rhino. Thank you to Chris out there and Todd, of course, for helping.
Heard you guys raise a little money while you were there?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, we made a
little bit. So very everyone's very generous. Thank you so much to everyone out there and for supporting us and giving us just being there for us and giving us that motivation.
Keep it coming. None of this is free. Everything that we do is, it comes with a price tag. So,
I thought Jim was the one breaking stuff.
and then Eric starts breaking stuff, and it comes with a bigger price tag. But either way,
I only knock over the cheap things. You should know this.
no, we appreciate any kind of any kind of exposure. We need to promote our brand. I want it to be in your face. I was telling these guys earlier, it's going to be like Marlboro and Budweiser. We'll be advertised on.
Maybe not Marlboro. They're not. There's all kinds of places they're not allowed to advertise.
I was going to say, yeah, right?
But I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was back in the day.
I'm an '80s kid.
Let's sponsor a Formula One car. I am down.
There you go. I want to be on the city bus.
Let's get there.
Eric's got these great ideas.
No, that's not an idea. That's a crazy thing to say out loud. That's what that is.
But it's an idea.
But that's the point. Let's do some crazy things to make good things happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, we want to welcome Timothy Brown. Thank you so much for being here, for being willing to talk with us here. He works at Orchards. He is the transportation coordinator, but you do a lot more than that. But I'll let you kind of give yourself a little bit of a background here and let everyone know you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. I'm a foster father, adopted foster father, and raised two kids. They're now 21 and 22. They came into my life when they were 2 and 3. We adopted by the time they were 4 and 5. And we made it through it. They're now adults, and pretty good adults at that.
That's
Definitely.
beautiful.
And I can attest to that because so back in, was it about July?
Yes.
About July. Had a lot of furniture to take. You guys had just gotten a new trailer.
Yes, sir.
And it was bigger, thankfully. And your daughter was there with you. And I tell you what, it was awesome because she was right there helping. We had a lot of furniture, and we packed that truck. Actually, we there was still more I had to take, but it was such a pleasure.
Well, she comes around now and helps me load up some of this furniture. She likes to see kind of where she came from. She gets to see it firsthand on the other side, so to speak.
Right.
So, yeah, she volunteers whenever she has a day off or whenever I need the helping hand and I twist her arm a little bit, she shows up.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Yeah, and it's got to be great working with her.
It
doing
is.
something like that.
It is. We're two peas in a pod. She has the same heart I do. She loves kids, and we want to make a difference.
Yep, for sure. So, but so if you want to talk about a little bit of how you came to Orchards. We talked earlier, had a really neat story on that, and kind of well, let's first actually, why you got into it and where your heart is at on all that.
Well, I guess you want me to start from the beginning?
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
That's the best
All right,
place.
let's start from the beginning. We were given notice on a couple days before Christmas Eve that my wife and I would never have children unless we went through in vitro. Well, at the time, you paid cash for in vitro. It wasn't part of your insurance policy. So, needless to say, we were pretty bummed out. We weren't in an area where we could, or a situation where we could afford that kind of cash to do the in vitro. But Christmas Eve night, we get a phone call out of the blue, 10:30 at night, and it was a Wyandotte Police Department, and they asked if we had room for 2 children to just get through the holidays. And they were 2 and 3, and they were non-blood relatives of my wife's. So we said, sure, we would take them. And I played Santa Claus for 28 years, so my house looks like Santa Land. They were pretty amazed when they brought him to my house.
Right.
And in fact, she thought she was at the North Pole. And the caseworkers were real happy with what they seen and real comfortable with leaving the kids with us. And they said they would be back in about 10 days to work things out and see if the kids could stay with us until courts made a decision.
Sure.
So, needless to say, my wife was flabbergasted when we got this call Christmas Eve night because we were still kind of mourning over the fact that we weren't going to have our own children.
Right.
So we realized that maybe this was our mission. This is what God intended, maybe. That these 2 kids needed us.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Did I hear this right? These 2 phone calls happened on the same night? You said you
They were a day apart.
A day apart.
Okay.
It was just before Christmas Eve.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a couple days before. And so
That would be a drag.
they came to our house, and, after what we had been through, after 12 years of trying to have children, when they walked past our Christmas tree, and my daughter now, threw her hat back, and she said, I think I'm at the North Pole. She said, this is something.
That'll
That's
melt
the
your
best
heart.
feeling.
Yeah, and she goes, do you know Santa? You must. I said, in fact, he's going to come here tomorrow to see you. She slammed, you know the movie Home Alone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to the drugstore and asked them, because there was nothing open. I asked them if I could put my suit on in the drugstore and go back to my house, and I bought a few toys. Well, I get back to the house, and I knock on the door, and I'm, ho, ho, ho. Well, finally, she opens up the door, panics, and just like Home Alone, slammed the door in my face. So she opens up the door, and I hand her a couple toys, and she says to me, are you really Santa Claus? I said, well, what do you think? And she goes, well, she puts her hands on her hips, and she goes, I want to know one thing. Where have you been? And I said, well, I'm here now. It took me a while to find you. She goes, all I want to know is, do you have something for my brother? I said, I do, young
that's so
lady.
sweet.
And that's all she was worried about was her brother getting a toy.
That's fantastic.
And now again, she's 3 at this point.
She was
right?
3
Yes.
and real articulate for a 3-year-old.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And they're only 11 months apart.
Wow.
So it was kind of like twins.
Right.
just
Right.
about.
Right.
Pretty close.
And so we spent the holidays together. Well, when the state found out that we weren't blood relatives, they came and took the kids and said that we falsified a paperwork. We never did. They just never asked if we were blood relatives.
They called you.
Yes.
Right.
Well, they came to see us. Yeah. They came to see us, and they said, we thought you said you were blood relatives. And we said, no, we were really never asked that question, but we didn't offer it either. So they took the kids, and we had to fight the courts, to
Right.
get them put into our home, because at this point now, days have gone by. Actually, a couple of weeks have went by at this point, and they have them in a secure foster home. And the one thing they don't want to do is keep pulling kids and putting them in new
Exactly.
places. So, and I understood that too, but my demand was that they come back to me.
Right.
We want to take these kids. It only took us about 10 minutes to fall in love with them.
That's all it
So,
takes.
yeah.
Yep.
And so we carried on, and it went on for about a year. We took them for their weekly visits to their biological mother, and the father never showed. But then the mother stopped attending But we showed up every week. You know, you have to do that to give them a fair shake.
Right.
So it took quite a while. It took quite a while to get the legalities together, but here we are. We adopted.
Yep. And yeah, and even after all these years, I mean, with her helping you now, and I mean, you can just see the growth. I'm sure just amazing.
It is amazing. My son's studying to be a pilot. He was a handful. He was a handful.
Yeah.
He works for 2 men in a truck now.
Okay.
And he's in pilot school. And my daughter is...
He's a beast.
Yeah. And my daughter is studying for social work right now, of all things.
Oh, imagine that.
So,
Yep.
yeah. And she's working hard, and she gets her 4.0s. Pretty proud of her.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, at that time, you were working at Ford.
Yes, sir.
And and then after adopting, and you came about to start volunteering at Orchards. And
After we adopted, the one thing I asked the courts for was therapy, because the kids have been through a great deal of trauma. So therapy was a must. And the judge was a little surprised I asked for that, but they honored it. And they sent a man out from Orchards Children's Services, and he started coming biweekly, and we got to know him so well. After the years went by, he was Uncle Carmine. Little did I know he was the vice president of Orchards.
That's awesome.
So the buyout was coming at Ford's, and I was thinking that I might want to leave after 15 years. And Carmine said, well, why don't you come volunteer 1 day a week at Orchards? We could sure use your help and your knowledge. And I'm kind of a flip side of what they have at Orchards. I'm kind of a bull in a china shop, you know. And not what they were used to. I was actually intimidated by all the education there. And they said, well, we have all the education we need. What we don't have is you. I was pretty flattered. So I enjoyed working there and enjoyed volunteering. Well, 1 day turned into 2. 2 days turned into 3. And next thing you know, I'm on payroll and I'm full-time and trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I left Ford Motor Company.
Yep. And now 8 years now.
Yes, sir.
8 years with them. Yep. Wow. That's amazing. So when you first started volunteering there, what kind of things would you do?
I was volunteering for transportation. I would help pick up the kids, take them to their visits, pick them up at their foster homes and bring them inside and to visit their biological family. And then I would return them. And I would help with the donations. When a child needed a bed, you know, Orchards would find a bed for him, and I made sure that kid got that bed. So
Yeah.
it was that type of thing.
And then it grew into...
It snowballed and just got bigger and bigger, and the need is never ending. So I ended up being really busy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was a continuous flow of donations there for a while. And it was nice to make a difference, to go into these homes personally and see the needs that these people had. Very heartwarming. Sometimes I took it home with me, and sometimes it would bring you to tears.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine the things you saw, and we sometimes don't realize how much we have, and then what others don't, and just simple things like a bed or a cabinet of some sort.
Exactly, a refrigerator means everything.
100%. Yeah, or washer dryer, that kind of stuff. So, now were you more or less the only one doing the transportation at the time? Or?
No, there was several transporters.
Okay.
But I was kind of unique because I wasn't full-time at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was just helping out their overflow. Well, the overflow turned into a lot of work, and